everyone. My name is Annette McDonnell. I'm here with our winemaker, Dan Barwick, and we are going to be making ceviche today. I have a fun family recipe that was passed down to me. I've made some fun tweaks with it, and I'm going to share my recipe. And Dan, you're going to share
some vino. So we have a Sauvignon Blanc and a Rosé that were made from fruit grown here on the estate of Paradise Ridge Winery. And we're going to be showcasing those and how well they go with ceviche.
There we go.
So
you want me to cook, right?
I think I'd like you to do that.
I can't do that without wine. Well,
Well,
so in a winery, there's a rule that you really can't do anything without a glass of wine in your hand. This is a serious rule. So
Sauvignon Blanc 2019 is our new packaging, everybody. It's fresh and clean and just like the wine.
Oh, there we go. That's the way. So before we kick this off, let's celebrate what we're doing in Paradise.
Ceviche.
The new ceviche.
Yes.
And the new wine. Actually, this is a little more impressive than the ceviche, but we'll see what my recipe could do for your wine. That's the idea, is to create a great recipe and show off your art, the thing that you really put all of the time and love into.
Thank you. So I'm looking forward to your time and love.
All right. Oh, that's absolutely delicious. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for joining us and tuning in. And so we're going to get started. I have most of the ingredients here in front of you. We're going to try to be a little television style quick on this. So I do have everything kind of pre-prepped. So we have the ceviche that we start with. This is, so whenever you're making ceviche, anything with fish, I know the recipe that was sent out to you guys, I had the bassa filet in it, but it truly is about what's fresh. A nice white fish that's a little more firm in texture tends to do better, holds itself together with the lime marinade. And so within this jar, you see I had a little bit of lime juice at the bottom. So you can see actually a little bit of the discoloration as it's starting to marinate. So what I'll do with that, and it takes, you can do it and have it cure in a couple of hours. And if you want it to have a little bit more of a firmer texture, you can go overnight. But there's so much flexibility with ceviche, and the ingredients that you add are truly what you like. So what we do is we just top that off with the lime juice, and it's now cooking. So I take that, get that lid back on, and into the refrigerator she goes. So you'll see in the end, this will all change color. It'll all become white in color. So ready, abracadabra. It cooked. Look at that. Wasn't that fast? You got to love television timing. So this is how it's going to come out after. So you see that all the fish is now white. We're going to rinse off, take off most of the juice here. And then I'll start going ahead and putting the ingredients in.
This is where you say, this is one I prepared earlier.
Okay.
And this is where I say, this is one I prepared earlier.
It should have gone like that. What he prepared earlier is going to be,
right.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to say that.
Well,
so I got it over.
You got it out. So, all right. So what you guys don't see is I have a sink down here. So what I'm going to do is I just use the lid of the mason jar, run off that lime juice. You want to reserve a little bit in it. You want a little bit of moisture, but the lime juice is extremely acidic. And if we leave all that juice in it, then we're not going to get the sweetness of the different vegetables that we're putting in to balance it out. So I take the majority of it out, and I'll pull her back up so you can see how much I pulled out. That's about right.
Yes.
That's about right then. So that's about what I have left. So you see I drained off the majority of the lime juice. At this stage, we know we need a mixing bowl. This is where it gets really easy. So we're going to take, I think I'm going to need a spoon here.
And a spoon?
I think so. I think we need to get that out. So again, the fish itself, I picked this up. So whenever I do a seafood dish, I go to the local market, Santa Rosa Seafood. Oh my gosh, they're so amazing. So the gentleman that owns the shop literally goes fishing first thing in the morning, and then he comes and opens his shop. So I went in there yesterday morning, and I asked, what did you pull out of the ocean last? And this is what he pulled out yesterday morning. So it is absolutely fresh and delicious. Oh my gosh, I hope you guys can see.
So this fish was a fish 48 hours ago.
These are
That's right.
yeah, it was in the ocean, and now it's in a bowl. Both ways, we're having fun with it. All right.
Can you eat that? Is that good enough?
You absolutely can.
Does anyone have a spoon?
Yeah.
Do I get a spoon too?
You can have a spoon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So here we are, fresh fish marinated with lime juice.
That's it. All it is, the fish and the lime.
Lovely. That is super fresh. Oopsie. Excuse me.
Now the funny thing is to have that protein with just that lime juice. You would think that might be, a little too much on the wine, but it really isn't, is it?
No. The wine has very good acidity, and I think they have a balance of both acidities working together. And now, as I believe you put more ingredients into this, we will see more facets in the wine.
That's exactly what we're going to do.
Tell them about that.
I'm going to do it right now.
Okay.
Let's have a little fun. All right. So each of these that you see here in front of you is going to represent an acid or a sugar. So now we have the protein and an acid. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start adding some ingredients. So here, now typically with ceviche, you do find it with tomatoes. But I want this ceviche to pair with wine, not margaritas or beer. So to invite that in, we're going to want to take this and really bring some of your vegetables and have a little bit of sugar in it, because that's going to help create that balance to allow this to pair so nicely with wine. I do have, if you see, I have red and yellow peppers, and that's really for the color.
Visuals.
Absolutely.
So with the tomato, there's two acids together, lime and the tomato. That's too much for wine, I think.
So I put about a half cup, quarter cup. In the recipe that I wrote out, remember, there's a lot of flexibility here. Most important, taste your food. I mean, as Dan did, he tasted it to see, where the flavor is. And now he already has a palate knowing, what it kind of needs. So we're just going to start adding our ingredients. So we have our peppers. Now this is serrano peppers. I like to use serranos over jalapenos for the reason that the serrano isn't as hot, and it has a little more sweetness to it. So I chop these up, get a little bit of those in.
Can I smell that?
Yeah. So yeah, right. It's a little sweet.
Yeah.
Little
It's not too powerfully capsicum.
No, so it's going to create some nice balance. I did let everybody know I'm Hispanic in descent, so I like a little extra heat. There you go. Now we're going to get some of our flavors. So here I have some minced garlic. So I minced that up this morning. Fresh ingredients, always use fresh ingredients. I know they sell jars of things at the market. Don't buy them. Go get yourself some beautiful cloves, smash them. You will be happy with yourself when you make those decisions. So I put that ended up probably being about 2 cloves that I tossed in there. And then
yes, ma'am.
You can always add to it. Onions. I do have 2 different onions that I'm going to add to it. So these are shallots. Again, I want to make sure I have the right balance of the sugar with the acids. So I'm going to add a little bit of the shallots in. My mother didn't do this.
We have to mix and taste again.
And pretty soon. It needs a few more things. You can talk a little bit about the wine while I continue adding the ingredients.
Right, so Sauvignon Blanc is my favorite grape to grow. Wine to make, and luckily wine to drink. I want it to be the food wine, so it's clean, fresh, vibrant. There's lots and lots of different fruits going on. So as Annette adds these different ingredients, those ingredients are going to find different spots that are already in the wine. And if we get this right, Annette, we should
I'll get it right.
Yeah, good. We should have something extraordinary, and we keep going.
Here's another one. So these tomatillos. Have you guys ever seen tomatillos? Right? Did I put some over here? So if you guys not seen tomatillos, these are tomatillos. So it's a green tomato, little more acidic.
Yeah.
So
You don't need that though.
you could. It's actually quite delicious. Yeah. I should taste it.
All right, here we go. Venture, first time. That was pretty good.
Yeah, interesting. They have a really interesting flavor profile. A little more like a little more of the green. You do a little more of the pepper, and then you're getting just really keen acidity with it.
Sort of cross between a pepper and a tomato.
Yeah.
Tomatillos, folks. Now we've got it.
Got it. So I'm going to put a little of the tomatillo in there. There we go. And let's get a little of our cilantro. Now, when it comes to the herbs, what I've done is you'll see I just pulled the leaves off. So I'm going to go ahead and toss this onto the chopping block. So you see you just have some nice fresh cilantro leaves. And really get the stems out. I know it sometimes takes a little bit more time, but again, you take that little extra time, you do get the reward. The stems do tend to have a lot of bitter qualities to them. So to eliminate that, just get that out. Give this a nice little rough chop. Would that be terrible on TV? So give that a nice rough chop. It's hard when they move all over the place. All right, there we go. Add that cilantro. And again, you know, these fresh herbs really make a big difference. So I'm going to pull a little of I have some fresh Greek oregano over here. It's fighting me.
Are there any other countries that grow oregano?
Absolutely. Well, everybody can grow oregano. I think everybody. I don't know how it's going to grow on the islands. It might be a little difficult there.
Different herb.
Herb.
Yeah.
All right. So again, get the stems out. You don't want the stems in there. And again, I'm just pulling the leaves off, letting that dance up on top. You getting those aromatics?
Let me smell that again. Thank you. It's got to, you know.
Yeah.
Fully invested in this.
It's absolutely. This is it. This is me messing with the artist. As you all
it is very interesting. Each
of
these components bring out a different character or quality in the wine, or highlight what's there already there. So one of my things is complexity, and it all starts in the vineyard. We start with, for us in our estate, we have 3 different clones of Sauvignon Blanc, which all bring their own different self to the finished product. And then the biggest player in Sauvignon Blanc for me is canopy management. Canopy management means the amount of sunlight that the fruit sees, and we manage that by removing or keeping the leaves to balance the amount of shade or sunlight the fruit sees. The more sunlight that the fruit sees, it becomes more tropical fruit. The less sunlight that the fruit sees, becomes more herbaceous and dried herbs, grassiness, and the qualities you see in Sauvignon Blanc. In between there is citrus and fresh stone fruits. These are all parts of what is that makes Sauvignon Blanc. So in the vineyard, I am lucky enough that I can manage the vineyard to exactly how I want. So we play with the amount of shade and sunlight with different parts of the vineyard throughout the year. So it's constantly changing the amount of shade that the fruit sees. Particularly now, I might go out this weekend and just one row will remove a certain amount of leaves from a certain part of the area of the vineyard. That fruit will see more sunlight and change the finished fruit profile in the wine. And you know, how much fun does that get? More seafood?
More, yeah. Well, I'm realizing that this is really going to be tasty, and I might have to share. So
that sharing thing.
I know, sharing is caring. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to add a lot more of the fish. You saw me put another container in.
And that was without the lime, or
that was without, drained all the lime juice off of that.
Gotcha. Look at those colors.
Isn't that beautiful? I'm going to just go ahead and add a little bit more because I increased the fish. So, and again, there's no exact, have fun, just have fun. Kitchen should be fun.
I think you want to use, not that I'm a chef here, but you want to use red and yellow bell peppers, because the green bell peppers will bring a very, very herbaceous and different character to the ceviche. Is that right?
Yeah. That's the one thing I didn't like when I was a child is green bell peppers. And my rhetorical on that is they're not ripe.
More wine?
They're not ripe. I just don't like green bell peppers.
No, that's
never
right.
Never have. My mother used to
What's
force
this
me
one?
to eat them.
Just
A little more
normal.
tomatillo.
I
I just
like
want to
those.
balance it out a little bit. So I think we're there. I think I'm happy with the way it looks. Are you all happy with the way it
I am
looks?
The other thing about food is it's a visual thing too. So looking at this, you're already hungry for it, and that becomes part of what you really want to do. Just like the chocolate box, what chocolate looks the best is what you want to go for. Just like the food, it's a visual stimulation.
So with that thought of a visual, we have to have the right bowl and all of the goodies. So let's go ahead and get this in a beautiful bowl. All right. Put our dirties in the sink.
Well done.
Dan,
Great job.
can I offer you a little
I think
pairing?
that's appropriate.
All right, let's see. So we're gonna go ahead and grab one of these lettuce leaves over here. I think that's the one I like right there. You all stay back.
Good. You're doing good.
That's a good one. And then let me find my tongs. So let's go ahead and get some of the ceviche right in the center. Oh, I gave you a lot. There you go. And then what do you think, a little sliver of avocado up on top for you?
You're in charge, man.
I
Looks
like
good.
that.
Yeah, I like to. A little more texture from the avocado.
Absolutely.
So just like food, wine also has different textures, and for me, it's very, very important to have what we call mouthfeel or texture in the wine. It's something I work very hard at creating, and we do that predominantly through fermentation. Different temperatures in the fermentation, different yeasts that we can use, bring different characters and textures to the wine. So if we use different temperatures, different yeast, we can create this much more complex level of textures in what is very clean and simple wine, but behind the scenes, there's a lot of stuff that goes on to create all those nuances. And now we're going to see the fruition of all that work.
Let's see.
Thank you.
All right. Maybe while you're enjoying that, I do.
Thank you.
You're all set.
Thank you, ma'am.
Let's see how we did. Should we have a drum roll?
Yeah.
I might have a sip of Sauv Blanc.
I think you should.
It's the sound of satisfaction.
Wonderful. This is exactly what I want to be doing at this time right now. Is having something fresh and satisfying and flavorful, clean, simple, and healthy. So you could, what is there's probably a number of calories in this, and it's probably very low, isn't it?
I would say so.
I like that.
I would say so. And I think
Satisfying without the
yeah.
calories, folks.
Absolutely. If you're standing up eating, it doesn't count.
Really?
It's a story you tell yourself.
Okay. Thank you.
I lose
love
weight.
that.
I lose weight when I eat.
Standing up.
Standing up.
It's really good. This is delicious. And with the wine, we should get some more of that.
So there's been a little tease on the bar for the viewers, and I don't know if they caught on. So those of you that have been enjoying our virtual experiences, you've been seeing our beautiful bottles up on the bar, and our bottles have changed. So while Dan's enjoying the ceviche, I'm going to talk a little bit about this gorgeous new packaging. So as those of you have followed us, we have had a journey. We have had quite an amazing journey. But through this, we've done a lot of, self-discovery, really had a little bit of time to really sit back and think, what does Paradise Ridge mean to us and to the community? And I have to give a shout out to Sonia Bick here. She's here in the room. She's being very quiet. But she is the amazing person behind the beautiful new packaging, the beautiful new building, her passion after the fire to keep everything, get everything back, and this beautiful invitation to really launch our new brand. So up on the label, what you see is a lovebird swallow. And so those of you that have been following us for a while, our beacon of love that sits in the vineyard. That beacon of love that sits in the vineyard is actually a beautiful piece of art that is made out of cut out little lovebirds, swallows. And so we have taken that beacon of hope that we've all kept as a community and really used this to let everyone know that we are love from us to you. So that's my little intake on the brand.
So buy a bottle of this wine, drink it, and feel the love. It's a very important thing. I'm going to try this. I'm going to grab a little more, if I may.
I think so.
I should serve you, but I'm not going to do it. That's good.
Dan,
Well,
really quick, any updates on Harvest 2020?
2020 harvest will be starting on Monday. So with our Pinot Noir from the estate here. The clone is 777, which is a little earlier ripening than other clones in the Pinot Noir family. What we're looking for in this particular harvest, the first one, is the vibrance of acidity, some brightness of fruit, more of the red fruit, so strawberry, raspberry, maybe some pomegranate in there too, but also the spiciness. We want that clean spiciness. We want to pick this fruit when it's only just ripe enough. So we don't want greenness, we don't want herbaceousness too much of either. But what we really want to do is capture the essence of that fruit. And that first fruit is always my first favorite fruit. And it makes the wine with good acidity and those bright red fruits makes it far more food friendly. And what I want my wines to really showcase is sitting down, having food with friends and conversation. And that's where I feel my wines will shine. I'm not trying to create a wine that's impressive to someone that gives scores or medals. I want something that you sit down with at your table and really enjoy and take the time and spend it with friends. Conversation is always good, and wine always creates conversation. And hopefully, mine will bring conversation to your table. Talking of conversation, well done.
Thank you. I'm gonna. So this is
That's the
ready
real way to do it,
ceviche
isn't it?
taco. This is how you do it. So your lettuce leaf is your taco, and that's my dad used to call meals like this sinkers because you have to stand over a sink when eating it. John appropriately standing over a sink. So let's see how we do.
I'm English. I like to use a fork.
Mm. Oh my God, the flavors, the
They're really
brightness.
good.
Mm.
Now, suck down a little bit of that wine and see how that fares.
Mm.
The next wine, while she's trying her Sauvignon Blanc and trying to look dignified, I will talk about the Pinot Noir. I mean, sorry, the Rosé. So here we go. Stop it out there. This is also made from fruit from our estate. It's Syrah and Grenache. We grow the fruit as if we were going to make a red wine, but we pick it at a much lower level of sugar and ripeness, and we bring that fruit and it's whole clusters, and then we press those whole clusters, and that juice spends just enough time on those skins as it's being pressed to get out a little touch of red, which turns out to be pink. And this is a particularly pretty pink that is a classic color for rosé, not fluorescent, but has a slight sort of salmony texture to it. And I think we've achieved. This is made in a traditional method of making rosé that goes back centuries in Europe, and I'm trying to emulate that here in California. It's not going to be the same exactly, but it's my version of what would be a classic rosé here in the Russian River of California. We're in a cooler climate here in the Russian River Valley in Sonoma County, and that helps preserve the acidity and the vibrance of the fruit, as opposed to a warmer climate where this would be a little bit more of a challenge to capture that moment. And making wine, to expand on that, is really capturing that moment in time. It is from this vintage, from this place, and my job is to really present that in the best fashion I feel. And there's no better fashion and style than a Provence rosé. So cheers to you. I'll share some of this with you later.
Deal.
Good. On this wine here, again, the entry is very bright and clean and fresh, and we have soft red fruits, as I mentioned earlier, raspberry, strawberry, And there's a little peach in there too. What we want to do again is through my job of managing that fruit in the vineyard to create different facets, and then at the winery trying to tease all of those different facets out of that fruit into the wine. And there's probably lots that goes behind to make it as simple as possible. And that really is no fancy magic or tricks, just different diligent winemaking protocols that are very easy to introduce to this wine. It's something that I feel passionate about creating. And again, with all those facets, creating complexity. So if you have the complexity in the finished wine, then the different foods that you have, as Annette introduces ingredients, that wine will change. You have them all together, then we have this, hopefully, symphony in a la moment. And
I'm still looking at the other half of my lettuce taco, and
well, looking's not going to help you.
no, I'm gonna have to wait until the camera's off,
Oh,
because
really?
that's definitely a off the camera kind
I'm over the sink right now, so it's going to hold back.
What are some of the keynotes that you're getting off the rosé? So you talked about, how you've handled it and all the complexities that it invited out.
Yeah.
Share with them some of the notes that you're getting.
Well, the riper the fruit gets on the vine, the less sense of place and varietal sort of definition it will display. Rosé is a little bit different, but what we want to try and do is capture those flavors, and that at lower levels of ripeness, you get bright red fruits. You get sort of soft dried herbs also there because the fruit is less ripe. And I think these captured and put into the bottle all take place in their place at the table. And it's maybe getting a little too complicated here, but
Yeah.
I don't want it to be complicated. I want it to be simple, satisfying, and for those more demanding that want these other facets and more complicated thoughts on the wine, they're going to be satisfied too. But my idea is pour it in a glass, sit down, drink it. Everyone's happy and enjoying it. And
Absolutely.
there is no other thought apart from
There's no rules to pleasure.
no. Well, there are.
Well, we won't go there.
That's right. Don't go there. Actually,
I didn't.
So the idea is really for me is to create something that is very simple but is easy to drink and easy to pair with food. And if you've got those two there together, then I think the evening's set on the right track.
Yep, very food friendly, extremely food friendly. Where I can take this from ceviche, but I can also take it to the dessert table. I can take it to the main dish. So many different things that you can approach.
Yeah, I'm going to try this with rosé now.
Yeah, I think I did for one of your rosés. I did a salmon basil quiche that was really quite amazing.
Yeah.
So the protein and the cheeses. I did a fontina that really invited a lot of the texture out. So have fun with the wines. I mean, as I show you one recipe, just remember that really his style of winemaking is food friendly. So it really does invite you to have fun.
You got chips too.
I did. I again, just to add some different complexities and flavors. The chips I did, they're sweet potato and beets. And again, just going to invite a little bit more of that sweetness out with that pairing. And that
Texture is a wonderful part of that.
And Annette, just to wrap up, will you update folks who are looking to travel in the area this weekend with the fires happening to the north of us?
Absolutely. I think that's a very, very important, special thing to do. So it's beautiful here in Paradise. Yes, our community does. There's definitely our first responders out doing their job, working diligently, doing a great job, I must say. But Santa Rosa itself is open, welcoming. So please come on out. We're open. Our skies are relatively clear. Relatively, but we're safe. Most important is what I would like you guys to know is that we're safe. So if you had a trip planned to come on out here to visit us, please come on out and we will let you know if anything changes.
Being safe is very important, and once you're here, we're not going to put you in any place that you're not going to be 100% comfortable and feeling like you're away from home. And that's really important for here us at Paradise Ridge. Come, enjoy. We have extraordinary views. We have a sculpture grove. We have all sorts of other things going on. We graze animals on the property, which is a very, very important part of one of my programs is that we've introduced sheep into the vineyard. So they're doing the work that mowers and weed eaters would do. And so we are what's regarded as sustainable in part of Sonoma County's program to make the whole county sustainable, which means really taking care of the property. You know, we're not overusing pesticides or herbicides. Everything is used diligently. We here at Paradise Ridge don't farm certified organically, but we've been farming organically for the last 10 years. And that's helped. You know, everywhere you walk on the property, you will find everything that should be here, from mountain lions to raptors in the sky. Everything is here that should be.
You won't see the mountain lions. Don't worry. They come out later at night.
I wouldn't want to see a mountain lion. A picture of it.
It'll be one of the moments that you remember for the rest
Oh
of your life.
boy, would you ever?
Lastly, Dan, how is the smoke going to affect the grapes this year, or the wine?
In the sky, I don't have a worry about it at all. The smoke in the sky really affects the fruit, particularly veraison, when in red grapes, when the grapes go from green to red, and it seems to be an Achilles heel for the smoke. But here, if the fire was 200 meters from the vineyard, I'd go, well, maybe there's something going on. But we are really just miles and miles and miles, 20 miles or so away from those fires. And I really don't see any effect on the fruit. At most, complexity, which is my game. So it will be nothing but a minute nuance, if anything. And if it is a subtle nuance, then that means we are expressing a place and a time. And it won't be a character of the wine. I'm not worried about it or concerned about it one iota. Good question. Well, I think we're done here.
I think we have ceviche to eat.
I think we do. We have a crowd of people out there that are just gangbustering to go for the ceviche. So I would like to say good evening to you. Thank you, Annette, so much.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And
beautiful dish.
here comes our family to come and enjoy. So
Cheers, everybody.
from our family to yours. Salud. Cheers. Salud. Cheers.
Oh.